What's up, y'all? It's your girl Sang, and today I'm going to be reacting to a video from Anthony O'Neal titled, "Is Racism Really Keeping Black People from Building Wealth? My Honest Thoughts." So before we even get into it, yes it is. Most black people, yes, that's their excuse, stopping them to have a victim mindset and everything. But let's see what Ayo got to say.
The total consumer debt in the United States of America as of this year, the year 2022, is at $15.84 trillion. That's $15.84 trillion. Let's get straight into it. CJ, turn me over to my iPad real quick, man. I want to break this down for my people here. I want y'all to see this. So $1.46 trillion are in auto loans. This is your Mercedes, your BMWs, your Bentleys, you name it. $1.1 trillion, okay, is in your credit card debts. Okay, I ain't tripping. Now here's what I'm not really tripping on about, right? 10.93 trillion homes. I'm not tripping about this. Like this, I'm okay with. I'm okay with. Actually, I'm really excited about this. I really am excited about having $10.93 trillion in home mortgages. Now, again, the goal is to have this paid off eventually, but I love seeing home ownership, especially within the black community. Then we have 1.75, now this pissed me off, in student loans. Okay, this brings us to a total of $15.84 trillion. Now, watch this. So what does this break down to the average consumer? So the average consumer is going to have $92,727 in debt.
That's
now,
wild.
Watch this.
That's
this is the
wild.
average.
Not me though. Not me though.
Okay. Now, let's break this down. Now, borrowers who actually have a like a higher level of education, let's say like a doctoral degree or a master's degree, this goes to where is that? Yeah, $97,916,000 in debt. Now, watch this. Gen X. This is going to be your 42 to 57-year-olds, right? They have the highest amount in $140,643,000 in debt.
Yo.
Do you see why I'm teaching what I'm teaching? Do you understand why? The average person is going to be right around $92,000. That's $6,000 less than $100,000 in debt between student loans, credit cards, mortgages, and all. Then the average Gen X, my parents' age bracket, they're at $140,000 in debt on average. But I've mentored and tutored people who have $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 in in debt. Period, outside of a mortgage. And so society is telling us that debt is a good thing.
It is
but the
not.
truth is, debt holds us back from really accomplishing our dreams, from building that dream home. Debt is preventing black people from closing the wealth gap. Listen, let me be real. I'm coming with y'all from this heat from the very beginning. Black people, we got to stop blaming white people for our financial mistakes.
Preach it, my man. I swear on everything. I done said this before in videos. I actually have a video where I'm walking and talking about this. Debt is really killing a lot of y'all from doing what you want to do. And that is crazy because that's our main excuse for why we can't do what we doing. We'll sit there and be like, I can't do what I do because the white man holding me back. And it's like, no, debt's holding you back. Them student loans is holding you back. There's a lot of things I don't believe in or agree with. Like, most people that go to college aren't really going for a real reason. They're going because, like, our parents, like their generation, once they had us, they was like, oh, in order for you to have a better life, you got to go to school. That's the only way y'all gonna make it. Most of us just went because our parents told us to go. And then a lot of people, they go just to party, all this other stuff. You barely pass. You get like a basket weaving degree. Then you come out with all this debt and you just like, I don't know how they expect me to pay this back. I only make $40, $50 a year. And it's like, well, why did you go? Well, I'm supposed to. But why? Why? There's certain things, if you're not about to be a doctor, a lawyer, it's crazy. You don't even need to really go if you're in the STEM field, because now with all the boot camps and stuff out there for coding and stuff, you really don't even need to go to school for that anymore. Because if you really, I'm gonna tell you this, a lot of tech companies, if you really know what you're doing and you can show them that in your interviews, and depending what tech company you go to do, because it's not like an average interview. Most of us, when I say interview, you think you're going to like, they pull your resume, you talk to one person, you in. No, tech companies, when it comes to code and stuff, there's like multiple interviews you got to go through. And usually when you get to the last stage, they want you to be there for like a full day, and you have to like show you know what you're doing. So you actually like might code out. They might give you something to code out and do while you're there. It's like a whole day experience. It's way different from when we go to like a warehouse or a store or a restaurant or something, and they just be like, oh yeah, that's cool, you hired today. It's completely different. But if you have the aptitude to show that you know what you're doing, like you really know what you're doing, they'll hire you on the spot. You don't need to go to college for that. I know a lot of them jobs be like, well, you gotta have a bachelor's degree, plus you gotta have this, plus you gotta have these certs and blah blah blah. It ain't really all like that.
I know, I'm gonna see it in the comments. I can't believe Anthony just said that. Now, yes, there are certain things that, yes, white people need to own up to when it comes to how they treated us African Americans. But black people, we gotta stop blaming our poor financial decisions on other people.
Facts.
And start stewarding our money well. And while we are fighting the fight to end racism, to end the stupid stuff that's happening to people of minorities, let's fix our homes first.
Facts.
And we're going to talk about that today.
Like, you know how hard we can move as a community? It's already been proven. Bro, Black Wall Street, one of the well-known ones. Yes, white people tore it down. I get it. That shows that we work as a community and we build as a community and we have our money pumping in our community with just us, how much we can thrive and really make it. Do y'all not get that? One of the best times to make money was during the pandemic. I know a lot of people gonna be like, oh, we couldn't work and blah, blah, blah. No, that was one of the best times to make money, because if your job was down, so many, what did they call us at the time? What they call us? Essential workers. There were so many essential work jobs where you can work as much as you want, right? The job I was at, we were essential workers. Many hours as you want. Pay, they was giving us double pay. Overtime, you was getting double overtime on top of the double pay. I lived at work. I made 10 G's in like 2-3 months. And all I did was go to work. I didn't do anything different. I went to work. That's all I did. That don't even include the money I made off my reselling business. Right? You know how many people chose? Because you had the option at my job too during that time. They was like, you know, if you don't want to be here, we're not going to penalize you for it. Now, when it was time for everybody to come back, they did fire all them people. But they was like, you know, if you want to be home, because it's the pandemic, we won't penalize you. But you also not going to get paid. You know how many people stayed home and they was just fiending for that check, that little $1,200 check that didn't do anything? And they was like, well, you know, I just want the check. Okay, take it. Take the check. I worked. Man, I worked 6 days a week. Every day. And then the longer as the pandemic went, which was cold about it, right? I had moved up into a management position. Didn't even have to work overtime no more. And I was making way more than I was making as just a regular person that walked in through the door. Now imagine you just wanted some quick extra money till your job opened back up. That would have been the easiest money ever. And you didn't even have to, a few of the people I worked with just still worked their regular 4 or 5 days. And they still made a bunch of money. We was getting bonuses. It was, made so much money during that time period. Saved all of it. Well, I didn't save all, but I invested, I saved. You know what a lot of people did that I worked with that came in sometimes? Because once they found out you weren't going to get penalized for not being at work, a lot of people would take a week off. And then they'd come back and work a week because they'd be like, well, I got to work because this check got to pay my rent. And it's going to be just enough to pay the rent. And I'm like, okay, but you don't want more than that? That's weird. That's really weird. They're like, I'd rather be at home chilling. I know people that got the stimmy and they went straight to Louis, Gucci. I know somebody that bought an MCM backpack with theirs and some Jordans. That's what black people do, man. You had a choice, and that's what you decide to do. And then the same people over here, oh, the white man keeping me down. They not promoting me because I'm not white. You never hear. You're never here. You don't work. And when you do get your money, this is what it goes to. The amount of debt stories I heard when I worked up there didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense. And it's crazy because the average car payment now is $700 and something. I was working with people. This was 2 years ago. Their car payment was $650 a month. And it wasn't for nothing new. It was for something old and used. Y'all don't want to hear it, though.
I'm tired of tutoring and mentoring and coaching people. And they're coming back to me, and I'm seeing well, wait, you got all this debt. What are you doing? Okay. But what are you doing? Get out of debt. You out here chasing wealth and chasing money, but you're not being a good steward of the money that God has already given you up front. So today, y'all better get your notepads. Y'all better get your pens. Y'all gonna share this video because I'm gonna walk you through the basics. This is how Anthony O'Neal got out of debt. I was $35,000 in debt before I even turned 20 years old. Before I even turned 19, I was $35,000 in debt. $15,000 in credit card, $10,000 in furniture bills, and $10,000 in student loans. When I didn't even need the student loans because I had my father's GI Bill and I had a partial scholarship from the NFL, not the National Football League, the National Forensics League. I didn't know how to play football. I was too short. I was a good debater, and they gave me a partial scholarship, and I had my father's GI Bill. And I was able to go to school at Palomar College, but you know what? I messed up. I acted a fool, and I did some stupid stuff. And I borrowed money. I borrowed money to impress people. I borrowed money to impress ladies. And I never forget, the first $500 credit card, I spent it within a matter of 13 hours. My first credit card, $500. I got it. My mama slapped me inside my head. You don't need that credit card. I'm a grown man. $150 going within a matter of an hour. Red Lobster, all you can eat biscuits.
Yo, that was wild. Red Lobster don't even cost that much. How you spend that much at Red Lobster, bro?
Then another $150 on roses. Sent her 2 dozen of roses, 2 boxes of chocolates. I was gonna send her a third one, but she already had me. You know what I'm saying? I was all chocolate she needed. Then I really wanted to impress her the next day when we met up. I said, you know what, let me go to the mall. Went to the mall, bought her a Dooney & Bourke's purse. A Dooney & Bourke's purse for $200. $500 going within a matter of 13 hours. I got the car at 5 o'clock that afternoon, and by 3 o'clock the next day, gone. All gone. Gone.
Wow, he blew that
But
fast.
I said exactly what everyone else said. You know, I'm gonna have this credit card just for emergencies. And it was an emergency to impress her.
I'm gonna be real with y'all. I did the same thing when I was 18. I didn't get to 35. That's a lot. So what ended up scaring me, I did the same thing, got credit cards, and was like, oh, this would be emergency only, right? Moved in with my boyfriend, because at first I was like, whatever I used, I paid it off in full, but I lived with my parents at the time. Moved in with him because he was about to lose his apartment, and I was like, and his mom was tripping on why he couldn't go back home, and he was in a predicament where he was stuck. So I'm like, we're dating, I'll just move in with you, whatever. So for me, living with him, oh, you know what? I guess I was 19 when that happened. So I guess by 20. So from 19 to 20, this is where all the stupidity started. I started spending money, doing things to, we thought you had to like do things to impress people. So I'm buying him like fancy watches and all this. He buying me fancy stuff. We're buying each other things because now we live together. And all of this is on credit. And right before I turned 20, I remember just sitting down, and I forgot where I heard this from, but somebody was like, you could pull your credit report from all 3 bureaus for free and check it out. And I was like, oh, that seemed kind of cool. Let me see what this is. And I saw all my debt, and I calculated it all up. And it was just like around 10 G's. And I was like, I felt sick to my stomach. And I was like, no, how did I do this? And I sat down and thought about all the stupid stuff I bought that year. I don't even have that stuff anymore. All that stuff we bought, I ain't got none of that stuff. It's stupid. At that moment in time, I took every last credit card. I cut it up. I started finding books about like how to get out of debt, how to build your credit, how to build a savings, how to budget, yada yada yada, right? It took a while. It took years to get everything aligned perfectly to where I was like finally good again. But yeah, I could only imagine if I didn't just sit down and check, I could have been in a way deeper hole, you know? When I tell people I was only like around the 10,000 mark, they'd be like, oh, that's it? That ain't nothing. And I'd be like, that ain't nothing? That was a lot to me. That made me feel horrible.
So before we get into today's show on how do we literally, what are the basics of being a good steward of our money? What is the basics of getting out of debt? There's 2 quick things. Number 1, if you like today's show, if you just like rocking with me, I want you to do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Join the family, be a part of a growing community that we are eliminating debt, we are building wealth, and let me introduce y'all to something. We're developing a neat life. I just launched a brand new network called the Neatness Network, where we're gonna be really focused on helping you all grow a neat life. You don't need perfection. You don't have to be perfect in all your aspects. Your money doesn't have to be messy. It can be neat. Your relationships don't have to be messy. It can be neat. Your business doesn't have to be messy. It can be neat. We're gonna be focused on a neat life. So if you really are a part of this community, please hit subscribe. Please hit the thumb up on today's show. If you're watching on YouTube, please leave us a 5-star review on our podcast channels if you're enjoying this podcast. Here's number 2. As we're talking through this, I felt this on my spirit earlier, that some of you are stressed right now. That some of you are with this recession, with the high inflation, the cost of groceries going up, the cost of gas is going up. And then now we're in this recession and you don't know what's happening. Some of you are under some stress. And I'll be real with you. I've had some stressful days. I've had some days where I'm like, well, man, am I gonna make it? You know, I got a staff now. I got close to 6 people on my payroll, 4 of them full time. I'm like, God, oh, jeez. And I got a little like, whoa, a little anxiety hit me. And I was like, well, God, wait. And you know what? I went and talked to my therapist. I just really started talking about everything that's on my mind and talking about what's going on in the world. And I started processing things. And I'll be honest with you, talking to my therapist actually gave me strength to go back and to not worry about nothing. And I'm gonna be real with you, and it wasn't just my therapist. I talked to my therapist and to my spiritual coach, my spiritual business coach. I was like, hey, these feelings are normal. What you're feeling, what you're experiencing, what you're expressing is normal. Keep talking to your therapist. And every time I talk to my therapist, I feel stress just come off of me. So today I want to encourage you to join my friends over at BetterHelp. You can go
what a way to slide an ad in there, bro.
/BetterHelp. They can give you 10% off for your first month. For you, this is Anthony.
We gonna skip that.
What is good debt in your opinion?
I know it's an ad, but like if you need to talk to a therapist, talk to a therapist. I have no idea what a spiritual coach is. That sounds like some BS to me. But the only person I've really been talking to lately is God. So talk to whoever gives you the good advice and makes you feel better, and we're gonna keep pushing.
What is bad debt in your opinion? And y'all, I want to break down the first thing that I really want to talk about today. What is debt? Like let's talk about that. And debt is something, typically money, that is owed or due. This is per the Oxford Dictionary. Let me just tell you AO's version. If you owe someone money, you're in debt. If I give you $5 and I say, hey, here you go, here's $5, and I need it back by such and such date, you are in debt to me. You are in debt to me. Okay? So let me just address this up front. I'm about to really hurt some feelings right now. And today's just gonna be that kind of day, but it is what it is. All right? There's no such thing as good debt. There's no such thing as bad debt. There's just a thing called debt. Bottom line.
Yeah, I'll leave the link in the description box below. You can check out the full podcast on his channel. But yeah, there's no such thing as good debt. You'll hear that from a lot of people that's in like real estate, and they'll be like, no, if you know how to leverage your debt to do blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I understand. Like, I understand what they're saying, where they're going with it. But at the end of the day, if you're holding mortgages and whatnot, it doesn't matter what you're making off of it. Until that's gone, that's debt. I never understood the terms of good debt and bad debt. It's all debt. It's all debt. And that's how it needs to really be looked at and processed. Especially from like the ground floor level. There's no reason to even jump into the business side of things because, yeah, things are slightly different when it comes to making money, but it's debt. But yeah, if you guys like that and you want me to react to more videos like that, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss when I drop a video. I try to do 2 to 3 every single day. If I don't, I'll let you know on my social media, and those links are in the description box down below. So until next time, you already know who it is. It's Sang.